Greetings, everybody. Happy Thursday. Yet another opportunity that we get to do our our YouTube live, and also on Facebook. And today I am talking about the road well traveled. As you come in, say hello. Let me know where you are streaming in from. Let me know which side of the world, the God's beautiful world, that you're streaming in from. I am doing well. This has been really weird here. So today was raining, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the sun came out. So that's English weather for you. So you walk with an umbrella, and 2 minutes later, sun comes out. 3 minutes later, snow comes out. Well, snow comes. You know what I'm talking about. So quick intro for those who may not know me. Say hello as you come in and present yourself so that I can know that we are together. I hope there is no lag in no lag in the comments, so that I can be able to see that what you guys are saying as well, because today I'm talking about the road less traveled. This is something that for me is it's such a potent conversation we're going to have today, because so many people, so many people take the road that is filled with people, the road that is cluttered, the road that is full, the road that, so many activities are happening because it feels safer. But I want to talk about the road less traveled, and I'm going to talk about that. Oh, right, the comments are coming. Maybe there's a bit of a lag, but I can see. Yes, I see Tim Joanne is here. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello, Jerry from Nakuru, but in Nairobi, unofficial business. You made it live. Love it. Invite a friend, invite two friends, three friends. Esther, hi. How are you, Dominican Republic? You guys, we are global. So Nairobi is represented, Dominican Republic is represented, Ghana is represented. Bring it on. United Kingdom is represented. So I'm very, very pleased. And of course, we are celebrating um, Rishi Sunak. So there's a lot that has happened this week that he has become the new prime minister. And for me, it's just nice. It's just nice to see change happening in the world. But all that also came without me going into his family of origin and all those stories, but it came from taking the road less traveled. So let's get into that. Honored and happy to catch up with you, my mentor and sister Joanne. I wish it shows me your name, but whoever it is, I honor you, I love you, and if you can go to StreamYard and accept, StreamYard, the top, it will be able to show me your name. Otherwise, it shows me you as a Facebook user. This afternoon, I went to the hospital, not for anything which it was for one of my vaccinations. And it's so funny. It triggered so many things in me from the past. And I saw so many sick people, so many sick people, some in stretchers, some being carried, by their relatives, others, just different sorts of sick people. And I hadn't been in a hospital for a very, very long time, because I usually just go to my GP surgeon, but I need surgery, but I needed to do something specific in the hospital. And I think it really affected me in the sense that I'm like, how lucky are we that we are well? How lucky are we that we are living our lives? How lucky are we that nothing is plaguing us right now? And for me, who had been in hospital for quite some time in the past, I was so grateful. And as I walked by those people, I was just praying for them. I'm like, Lord, heal them, touch them, because it's such an area that greatly touches me. That's just off the side, nothing to do with the road less traveled. So in your prayers tonight, pray for sick people, pray for people who are suffering with one thing or the other. The fact that your life is okay does not mean somebody else's life is okay. The fact that you have your faculties here working in one way, shape, or form doesn't mean for other people it's like that. So I just want you to take that time to really think. There's someone out there who just needs a word of encouragement, somebody out there who is struggling with something, and maybe you're the person who has been called to speak life into them. Because one of the things I say is that Call those things, and not me, it comes from the good word, but call those things that are not as if they are. So even though those people were sick, I could see some of them just looking like anytime, anytime. And I said, I will call those things that are not as if they are. I will call back health into their life. I will call financial providence into their life. I will call good things into their life. I will call peace of mind into their life. And that's what I want you to do today, because today is Thankful Thursday. And as I entered my car to come back home, as I was driving back, I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm really grateful for the journey that I've been, because had I not been in a hospital bed, I would be traveling the road that everyone travels. But now, guess what? My iron got sharpened. My soul got sharpened. My mind and acuity got sharpened. My wisdom got sharpened, because I came from a place where I had no other choice but to 100% surrender to the divine and say, use me as you will. And let me tell you, when you give the divine permission to use you as he will use you in unconventional ways. Can I see that in the chat? In unconventional ways, not in ways that the majority of the people will be used. And that takes courage, it takes boldness, it takes a certain type of person to say, yes, use me just the way I am. Because most people are scared of the consequences. Oh my God, if I do this, how will people understand me? My family, will they understand me? Will I lose my friends? Will I lose my all this? And I went through that myself, because people who knew me before knew me with a completely different identity from the one I'm in right now. And that loss of identity for me was so painful at the time. Yes, hi, Giles. Lovely to have you. In unconventional ways. And when I think about some of the things that have happened in my life, I don't know, I've never shared this story really, but when I finished my fourth form, form four, O levels, I did well, really well, but got called to uni to do anthropology or archaeology, which is the one for museums. Can someone write for me? Anyway, one, just check for me, Google for me one of those. All right. And I remember, and I'm thinking, what if I took, because that's a road less traveled, what if I took that road? Where would I be now? I'd probably be working for the National Museum of London, National Museum of London, National Museum of New York, National Museum of Nairobi, National Museum of Nairobi, of Kenya, and I'm in National Museum of Jamaica, if that's the one that's the archaeology, I think that's the one. And I sat down and thought, what if I took that identity? What if I said I'm gonna do it? But I remember going home and with my admission letter to uni, and it just didn't sit with me. And my uncle had been called for that same program, and he had really really suffered to get jobs after he graduated. And I listened, we listened to other people. He's like, that one is not a good one for you, blah blah blah. And even me, I'm like, I don't feel it's for me. So I instead opted to join another university and studied for my undergraduate degree. I did a Bachelor of Science in marketing, and then went on to do my MBA in finance and entrepreneurship. Why am I saying all this is many of us have a path that we follow. Think about your life, and I want everybody who's listening to me, think about your life, how you have grown up. Your parents, your dad, mom says that I'm taking you to school. When you finish standard 8, you're going to go to that high school, Alliance High School, whichever high school. Mine, I went to Loreto Limuru. Someone else, you're chosen for there's a path that that has been defined for you. And then after I finished my O levels, what's next? Like, there's no choice. Those of you who have African parents like mine, you are going to university. We're not even talking about it. And just write for me in the chat, what are the conventional things that parents want? Well, parents have changed now a bit, but I'm talking about like my parents. Think about it. It's medicine, it's a law, it's accountancy, it's finance. Can someone put for me banking? What are the professions that parents were all for? Just um put them in the chat so that I can see, because there are those conventional routes that, you go and do this and then you will be a success. Go and do this, for sure you will have a good salary. And I ended up going into banking. Um, yeah, you see, I had the marketing, I went into banking and finance, and it was really good actually. I loved it. Not the back end bit. I'm a front end person. So the marketing, the customer service, serving people, interacting with people, helping them make prudent decisions. Engineer, my dad, yeah. Yes, yes, Jennifer, that's what my dad is an engineer. So yeah, you guys are getting the professions you're talking about. So here I am in banking, and I'm so grateful that the banking institution I joined spotted my character. They spotted how much I love people, how extroverted I am, how much I love the front end. For me, I'm a front end person. Even in the business, I don't like doing the back end things. Those things, filing, I don't know, and I have to do them, filing taxes, doing. I don't like those things, but they have to be done. They're part of the work. But for me, this, doing the lives, talking to people, serving my clients, having my team meetings, those are the things that bring me joy. Now, yeah, pilot, accountant. And, you know, when people take the unconventional route, can you guys give me some of the unconventional things that people do? And people are like, what's that? What's that? So for me, when I became a coach, 5 years ago, I was asked, what's that? A football coach. I'm like, rugby coach. What coach? And I'm like, no, I actually work with women to really help them create lives that they madly, deeply love through entrepreneurship, through helping them build businesses that are purpose fueled and that are purpose driven. So, what does that entail? And I would be asked questions. And sometimes I'd be like, you're asking me so many questions, but I understood because it was unconventional. And I want you to think about the path that you're taking right now. Is it conventional and or unconventional? And there's nothing wrong with the conventional, but I do not want you to follow the conventional because someone chose it for you. So let me read for you a poem that was written by Robert Frost. 1874 to 1963. It's probably one of the best poems I've read. I love it. And I read it every so often. And it's called The Road Less Traveled. Other versions here, The Road Not Taken. And I'm going to read it for you. And please listen to the words because you will get the potency of the words. And then I'm going to give a brief teaching on how you can step into the road less traveled for yourself, how you can be unconventional, how you can be take new ways. You become dynamic in doing your things, especially now we're going into a new world order. You have to be unique. You have to be unconventional. You have to think outside of the box. The things that worked a year ago, 2 years pre-COVID, do not work today. I kept telling people we used to have a very open online space, would come live and people pop up left, right, and center. Now, the same people, there are so many coaches, so many people calling themselves gurus, all sorts, and the same number of audience watching them. So people are split. As we speak right now, there are many other videos happening, many other webinars happening. In a day, sometimes I receive even invitations to 5 webinars, and I'm like, it's just become so overwhelming. And for those of you who are watching with me right now, I want to say thank you, because you could be anywhere. You could be anywhere under, this internet streets listening to somebody else, but you came here to spend your precious time with me. I don't take it for granted. So let me take that you're not spreading your time between me and somebody else right now. You're fully present for yourself, and you're here to take the road less traveled. So let's talk about the poem by Robert Frost. It says, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Or I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That has made all the difference. You could be like every other voice on the internet. You could be like everybody else singing the same thing, talking the same thing. But I want you to understand that the first thing that you can do to take in the road most, not most, the road less traveled is number one. Can someone guess what that is? Oh, you benefit from the life. Thank you so much, Betty. Thank you so much for joining. Tell me what, tell me somebody, what is it? What do you think is the thing that would make you, really be take the road less traveled? What would make you stand out in the road less traveled? As I wait, I'll probably just tell you guys it's authenticity. Can I see that in the chat? Authenticity, being true to yourself, not being true to somebody else, not being true to your dad because he was my dad because he was an engineer, and that's one day we were talking, not once, we've talked about it so many times, how I forced myself to do physics because that's the word. Nobody forced me. I forced myself to do physics, and I'm not a physics person at all. Like zero. I have no, honestly, if you ask me things of physics, I can't even remember them right now. I only remember, I think, what was fulcrum in physics. I just remember, like, I did well. I got a B in physics, but I just forced it. I just winged my way through it. And I remember one day telling my dad that I picked physics just because he's an engineer. So I wanted to please him. And he's like, how silly. How would you do that? Why would you just do something just because of that? And I'm like, because I knew that it would mean something to you. He's like, no, you do it because you want to do it. And from that day, something sparked in me. I'm like, really? I have permission. It's like he gave me the permission slip to just do what I want to do. Thank you so much. I see you, Sherry. Ah, I see you, Nina. Thank you so much for joining, Mercy. Oh, hi, Mercy. Long time. Yeah, so what I'm saying here is silly me, because the person who I thought I was impressing was not impressed. He's like, why would you do that to yourself? You don't even like it. And I'm like, well, I did it because I thought now I'll do physics. It will, he'll show me and do. But guess what? Even as I went through, did that physics, he really helped me because I was quite pretty good in it because I even ended up representing my school for science congress. It's something that happens a year, and my one won actually for provincial. We got provincial. I can't remember those terminologies, but we were up there. Like we were the best in the provincial for the thing that I was presenting in physics. So it still worked for me, but it wasn't my thing. And that's how I want you to understand why I'm saying this is because many of us, we are good at something. We are okay with it. We can do fine, but it's still not the thing. Have you ever felt like that? Like same with me and my banking and finance. I was wonderful with it. I could do anything with my eyes closed in that sector. But what really stood out for me was the fact that I loved to serve clients, that I was able to give them really good solutions for their problems. I was able to troubleshoot with them. I was able to sit back and tell them, if you do take this money from here, move it here, we can do this. Help them get loans, help them clear their debts, help them open savings accounts for their children. That for me gave me so much joy. And guess what all that leads to now? It leads to what I do in my coaching, but in a different way. I'm offering creative solutions for my clients when they come to me. Yesterday, I had a coaching call with one of my private clients, and it was such a big breakthrough she had. We were talking, I was taking her through her product staircase, the different products she has in her business. And I was telling her, here, I really see a big gap here. This is what I want us to create together. And I literally turned my screen, took the whiteboard, and I created for her a, a little income, not little, a big income stream, just from seeing a gap in her business. And she's like, Joanne, if I follow what you've told me, this is an income stream of about 300, 400,000 shillings a month. That is $4,000, 3,000 pounds a month. Who would be complaining? But why would I be able to help? Because I'm now taking the road less traveled, and I'm using the skills that I have, that I picked, the transferable skills that I picked from my other areas of life. And now I'm able to compact them in a way that works for me and works for my clients. So it never goes to waste when you start with the road that many other people travel, because it slowly takes you to the fork of the road, and you take the one less traveled. And when you take the one less traveled, you come with your gifts, you come with your uniqueness, you come with your expertise, you come with your ability to flow, because you're flowing within your gifts, right? I flow within my gifts. So right now I flow totally in my gifts, and I can feel it. I can feel it. When I speak, I can feel it. I can feel I'm not forcing it. I can feel that I'm really doing what I've been put to do in this season. And I can tell you that seasons change. Like now here, it's so beautiful. The leaves change, and you can see the different hues. They go to green, then they become a fiery orange, and then they start falling off, and that's life. So for me, I had to go to that place where my leaves turned from green and they started changing color, to where I am now, where I can say I'm fully established in what it is that I'm supposed to do. So I want to say this: the first thing that you need to do is to be true to yourself, just like I've shared my story. The person I was trying to please was not even pleased. He's like, do your thing, boo. He didn't say boo, but he said, do your thing, craft your journey. I'm the engineer, you're not the engineer, you do your thing, right? And then my grandfather, my mom's dad, was in the financial services. Another one I was trying to please, that I ended up in banking, not because of him per se, but because it was infiltrated in me as I grew up. And now here I am looking, and I'm like, you know what? This is my path. I'm not taking anybody else's path. The road less traveled is to stop following others, especially because of pressure. And especially those of us who come from families that are, if you come from an entrepreneurial family, it's so easy for people to tell you, oh, because your dad was a goldsmith, you become a goldsmith. Because you have a family business that sells onions, that you're not going to be the next onion seller. If your parents owned a school, now you're going to be the next headmistress, and you have no interest whatsoever in teaching kids. But because that's the journey that has been crafted for you, you just flow with it and are miserable for big deal of your life. And I've encountered so many cases, even in my coaching, where I find people coming and they're like, I really want to get out of this family business. It's not working for me, but I don't want to break my parents' hearts. And I sit back and ask them the same question. Do you think that when your parents formed these businesses for themselves, or they started the thing, they followed their dream? They followed it. And if you have a decent conversation with them, they will understand. Because it's a time that the bird has to fly off the nest. That's what we say, right? I'm a bird that has flown off the nest. I flew off the nest and formed my own identity, formed my own values, formed my own non negotiables, flowed within my purpose and my passions and my gifts and my talents, picked up skill sets along the way that I'm now able to use with boldness and with courage. So I want you to take some time to find out the starting point of your path. So, what's your path? Where does it start? And if you're already in it, how do you move forward with it? So that's your first assignment. So because I always give homework. So Tim, just write that one. What is the starting point for you to be in flow with being true to yourself? Where do you start? And then think about what you want to do. You, Nina, you, Tim, you, Sherry, you, Betty, you, Esther, you. Joanne, you, what is it that you want to do? Facebook user, I don't know, Jael, what is it? Jerry, what is it that you want to do? Think to yourself, my darlings, what is it that you want to do for you? And it's not too late to do that. And I want to say this is not about achieving the most in the shortest period of time. Hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. You know, you're going crazy. Oh, she said this, let me start right now, right? No, 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 no. Don't be frantic about it. Sit with it. Organize your mind. You know, I said yesterday in an Instagram live that I was doing, I said a double minded person is unstable in all their ways. Do not be double minded trying to see, oh, what is this road less traveled for me? I'm in this conventional way of doing things and I want to become you'll become confused because even the conventional way could be the way for you, and that's okay. We're not all meant to do things differently. That's what I want to say. So long as you're unique to yourself and you're operating within your gifts, within your talents, whether you're in employment, whether you're in entrepreneurship, that's what counts. That you're a vessel of honor. That you're giving, that when you go to bed, you look at your hands and you're like, these hands have done good work. These hands have served well. These feet have trodden on paths that have helped people. These feet have trodden on paths that have enlightened people. That's what counts at the end of the day. It's not about competition, achieving the most in the shortest time, who can go the farthest down the road. It's not about that. You do what you think is right. You do what you think is right for you, not what the majority say is right. I was listening to Rishi and he said something really, actually, I don't know if I can play that thing. I like playing stuff for you guys. You're welcome, Betty. You can see your email. Let's see. Let's see if I can play you that. I really like this video. I mean, you guys we have to just listen. But he said something, it's about 2 minutes, but I think he made so much sense. One moment. Okay. Someone messages are just coming through. Let me just send you guys. Let me just not send, let me just play it for you. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna play. Spend some time amongst friends in the midst of all of this, and can you please join me in just thanking Dollar for putting this on? I've had a fun few days. I've been out and about talking to members across the country. I've been talking to them. They've been telling me things. I've been hearing what's on their mind, and I've heard so many of them all say to me, "Wow, Rishi, you're even shorter in real life." It's not been the start of the campaign that I would have thought, but it's been fine otherwise. But look, I'm standing here because, like many of you, this country did something incredible for our families, and it welcomed them here as immigrants decades ago. Yeah. And that's why I'm here. My mum ran the local chemist in Southampton where I grew up. My dad was an NHS GP, and I was brought up with a certain set of values. I was brought up to believe that family is everything. Family provides the bond that no government can hope to replicate, and we must never lose that. I was brought up to believe in hard work, because if you work hard, there is nothing that you can't achieve in life. I was brought up to believe in the power of education to transform people's lives, that it was something that was worth sacrificing for, because that's how you built a better future. And I was brought up to understand the power of small business. I worked in my mum's shop. I worked in her pharmacy. I delivered medicines for her. I worked in the Indian restaurant as a waiter, and I saw firsthand, doing her books, her accounts, her payroll, just how powerful small companies are in providing jobs and opportunity for people in their community. Now, those are my values. I know they're all your values too. Those are the values that we cherish, that we hold dear, but they are also conservative values. And that is why I want to be Prime Minister, because this country did something great for my family. It enabled them and all of us to build a better life for our children. And as your Prime Minister, what I want to do is give everyone, millions more children and grandchildren, those same opportunities that I had. Yeah. Now, how do we do that? We need to do three things. We need to restore trust, we need to rebuild our economy, and we need to reunite our country. Restoring trust starts with being honest.
And as your Prime Minister, I will be honest about the challenges that this country faces. You've seen that in this leadership election so far. I have not taken the easy road. I could have said a lot of things that would have made my life easier. That's not leadership. Leadership starts with honesty. The country deserves nothing less. But trust also comes from doing the things that you say. And our government has to grip some of the challenges that we're facing in this country and solve them. So whether it's the NHS backlogs, whether it's illegal migration, whether it's tackling the threats we face from abroad, we've had enough talk over the last 2 years. Now we need a government that...
All right. It's so beautiful. And part of the road less traveled, as he said, first is identifying your values. As Betty has written, there's so much hope. Family, yes. Hard work, yes. Education. But he said something that I love towards the end, which is keeping your word. That what you say and what you do, you are right, you're aligned with them. And that's why when you take the road less traveled, you understand what your non-negotiables are. So for me, I'm always clear and clean that in the journey that I've taken, I work with 5 values. My first value, and you can write for them, you can write them here, is number one is my faith. I am 100% sold out for God. I talk about that in my teachings. I don't hide my faith. I'm very candid about what it is that I believe in. Number one, my faith is my first value. My second one is my purpose. It's purpose is what I eat, live, and breathe. Purpose. If something is not bringing fulfillment to me in the way that I perform, because we are evolving beings. It's not a tattoo on you. You can change. You can evolve. Your purpose evolves even as you develop as a person. So for me, my purpose is crucial. I always say, if you're not pursuing or you're not honoring your purpose, you are suffocating your soul. So that's the second one for me. And I wish you can type them. Those are my values. So my faith, purpose. My third one is abundance of health, abundance of wealth, abundance of relationships, abundance of connections, abundance of even my communication. Abundance for me is such a big value. Anything that is lacking, anything that is poverty minded, anything that is depriving is not for me. For me, everything is about expansion rather than contraction. So for me, abundance is a big deal. Abundance for me is not about money, but yes, health, wealth, all those things are very important for me. Abundance of time to do the things that I love, which leads to my next one. My fourth one is freedom. Freedom to self-express like I'm doing right now. That I can come here as a woman of African origin, and I put my voice out here and share what my thoughts are, my perceptions, and people agree. And people disagree, and that's okay, because not everybody who listens will agree with me, but that is what I stand for. I stand for faith. I stand for purpose. I stand for abundance. I stand for freedom. The freedom to express myself, the freedom to live my life as I wish, so long as it's not, imposing on someone else's freedom. To do the things that I love, so long as they're not constricting anybody. And that's what I want for you as well. To be free to make the choices that you want for yourself and for your family. The choices that you want, you want to be one of those people who you can help your children make the best choices for themselves, because you have freedom in yourself. Because you cannot give your children the freedom to self-express when you're muted yourself. It has to start with you. I cannot be able to give my clients permission to be fully expressive if me as the coach, I'm held back, I'm shriveling. No, you have to take a stand. And for me, my stand is, we are fighting for freedom. We are fighting to take our place at the front of the table and to share that which we have to offer. Because there are people on the other side waiting to receive it. And you do it knowing that you are bringing that value. Very important. Doesn't matter what someone else thinks, it's your opinion. And I'm not saying that you go abusing people on the road. No, that's not what I'm saying. But the way you are entitled, the way they're entitled to their opinion is the way you're entitled to your opinion. And the way you're entitled to not agreeing with their opinion is the same way they're also entitled to not accepting your opinion. That's okay. We're in a free world. And that's what freedom is about. Not catching feelings, not taking offense. the spirit of offensiveness has to leave us people, because a lot of people do not get to live the fullness of their purpose because they have a spirit of offensiveness. Something small happens, someone writes a bad comment in your Facebook, you run away from your business. No, you can write whatever you want to write, but for me, I'm like, out of the window. That's not for me. That's your opinion. I don't agree with it. Control, Alt, delete, moving on swiftly. And that's the posture I want you to take. The people who they've had a bad client experience, someone questions their authority, someone questions their coaching style, someone questions their way of doing things, and they flee in the opposite direction. Oh, I don't think this is meant for me. For me, that's the reason that you take the road less traveled. You look at what it is that they're saying, and like, is what they're saying true? If there's a semblance of truth, how can I improve on it? How can I make myself better? And if you can see that it's something that doesn't make sense, ignore. You don't have to take everything that people say and move on and continue doing your life. But you don't have to be right all the time as well. That is where we become coachable. That's where we become teachable. You don't have to be the know-it-all. No one can tell you nothing because you know it all. Then don't ask. Don't ask me for advice. Don't come to me if you don't want me to give you the advice that you want to hear. Don't ask me. Simple. Don't ask me. End. Yeah? Because many people come, oh, tell me, what do you think? And when you tell them, because that's all they wanted to hear. But freedom means you accepting those things, even though they're not for you, and respecting them as well. But, I like that. I don't like that. But you know what? Thank you for sharing. That's it. Polite and dignified. You're not fighting with anybody. You're not, no. Just calm, dignified, and continue with your life. That's freedom. My last one is excellence. A standard of excellence. We cannot be perfect because the one man perfect is the Lord Jesus Christ. We cannot take his perfection. We cannot be his perfect self. And I always say that a spirit of excellence we can cultivate because that is available and within our reach. That when you tell your clients or you tell your family that you're going to do something, you do it, and you do it with the best of your heart, the best of your intention, better than not doing it at all. Better not to do it at all than to just do it in a haphazard way. Have you ever seen someone just doing something like just haphazardly, like they really don't care? Just haphazard, like that, haphazard. Because that spirit of excellence is not there. But you can tell somebody who is proud of their workmanship, somebody who is proud of the gifts that have been put in them, somebody who is proud of the thing that they have in their hands. Because yesterday I spoke on Instagram and I said, what's in your hand? And if the thing that is in your hand has been given to you, do it well. Do it with diligence. Do it with a clean heart. Someone can do something well, but they're doing it with a really black heart. They're doing it with, I say in Kiswahili, and I said, roho mbaya. They're doing it in a bad way, with a bad heart, not clean motives. Whatever you do, do it with clean motive, or don't do it at all, because that shows. The next thing after the values and being true to yourself, and what you had Rishi say, which I absolutely loved, and what Betty said, rebuilding the economy, he did not take the easy road. Do the things that you say you will do. That is honor and that is integrity. And I always say, before you honor other people, start honoring with yourself. And where many of us go wrong is that we are so good at honoring our words to other people, but we are not good at honoring our words to ourselves. Start with you. Say it starts with me. And I'm talking to myself as well. I'm so good with honoring words to my clients, honoring words to my family members. But sometimes I'm like, mine, oh, it can wait. It can wait. No, it cannot wait. Start with you. The second thing I want you to understand is do not resist change. That is how you take the road less traveled. The road less traveled will bring change with it. But do not be resistant to change, because change is the only other thing. They say death, taxes, and change. Those are the three things that will remain constant. Can you write that? Death, number one. Taxes will always be there. And change will always be constant. Betty, it starts with you. Jennifer, it starts with you. Joanne, it starts with you. And I want to say this: when you're resistant to change, you will be left behind. Jennifer and I were doing a training earlier for our 100-day challenge, and the person said that a lot of the reasons why we do not really succeed in life is because we resist change. And one of the things that in the David and Goliath situation that really worked for David was not even the boldness and the courage that he took to go to Goliath, but it was because he so changed. He changed. He's like, they usually go with what? With this armor. Saul gave him his armor, the king. Take my armor. This guy is too big. And David was like, mm-mm, those armors of yours are heavy. They're clunky. I don't want them. He saw a different way, and he decided to change, and he was given a very simple strategy. He was given a sling, and that sling, he just hit the sling and it's landed on the bull's eye, right in the middle of the Goliath's head, and they are kaput. Those armors, those things, all those other things Saul was giving him, take my weapons, the little boy, because they said he was a handsome, ruddy boy. I can imagine he was nimble and agile and little. And he goes to this big Goliath who asks him, and who the do you think you are to come to me? And shame on Goliath, because he did not know that this little shepherd boy had something that he did not have. He had a strategy, and his strategy was different. And what he did is he was not resistant to change. He said, you know what, you guys are used to all these armors, you're used to all these other things that you put on your body to prevent, but this is not how I'm going. I am going in an unconventional way. I am taking the road less traveled. 5 stones, sling, and the one stone that he took landed on the bull's eye. Can someone say landed? Hi, Joyce. Thank you for joining me as well. It landed. Say landed. That's probably one of my best words. Things land, knowledge lands, wisdom lands, strategy lands, purpose lands. What do you want today to land for you? And claim it right now. It landed. There are things we do with Jennifer, like when we're doing our content creation, and I'm doing some stuff with Yanni, and I can see when it lands. Even when I'm with my clients, I'm coaching them, like yesterday's client, the one I helped create a new revenue line. It landed so well for her. She's like, she's just in heaven right now. It lands. And me, when things land for me, you can see. I just have this glow on my face because it has landed. So when something lands for you, you get it. It lands, right? So do not resist change. And acceptance of change really just means the willingness to adapt to the current situations. And it's the first step towards getting out of your comfort zone. So think, me, I really, honestly, I was one of those people who, oh my God, when I think about it, I actually thought COVID was going to be for like a week. So I came from England. And then we went into lockdown 2 days after I came from Kenya. I landed in England 2 weeks later, not 2 weeks, 2 days later, or 3 days. They said the country has gone into lockdown. So me, there I am, busy preparing my things for next week. It's something that will take 3 days, 4 days. Shock on me. Today, when I said when I went to the hospital, I mean, I was still wearing my mask. I even had to look for masks. There are so many in this house because, some of you know my husband is a doctor, so we have all manner of things here. But I don't use them. I don't look for them anymore. And when I went to the hospital, I'm like, back to that thing, because that's the new world we're in. We have to adapt. There are parts of the hospital that we're walking in, and it says this is a mask only zone. You have to respect that. So I had to dig deep. In fact, there's a place I reached and I'm like, I don't have a mask. And the woman is like, don't worry, I'll give you 5 masks. And she gave me 5 masks. And I'm like, I just need the one. She's like, take the 5. And I'm like, thank you, favor. I'll keep them in my bag. Because I've also learned to receive. Because many of us who are givers, we're not used to receiving. You just give me the one. I'm okay. I'm cool. Give me 5. I'll take the 5. Thank you. You never know who else will need them. So when you get out of your comfort zone, you are able to identify new opportunities in your life. You're able to make new choices for yourself. You're able to establish new limits for yourself, right? Create new possibilities for yourself that you never knew you could accomplish. Let me tell you what, the work that I've done, and honestly, none of it I'm giving myself any glory, zero. But when I think about how I started on day one as a coach, I knew, honestly, I knew nothing. And when I say knew nothing, it's not like I was not clever. I'm a very smart person, if I may say so myself. What I mean is, I didn't know much about the industry. I just stumbled onto it by chance. It was the road less traveled. And I just felt, this is it for me. And people are like, but how can you do something you don't even know? And I'm like, I can figure it out. I have a brain, I can learn, I have my coaches, I can study. It's not rocket science. Others have done it, I can do it. And that's the same posture I want you to do today, my darlings. Never look at something and think that because other people have done it's hard for you. Say to yourself, if she has done it, so can I. Write that in the chat. If she has done it, so can I. For me, I have zero. Let me tell you, I have, as you know, the people who are so jealous and envious of other people. For me, when I see someone who has accomplished something that I would want to accomplish, I look at it from a different lens. I'm like, what is it about her that she's doing? I want to see that. So I'll follow her and I'll be like, there's something about her. And some of them I even send them friend requests. I love this about you. Can we meet for a virtual coffee? Can we talk some more? The other day, I approached somebody for my 3-day event, which is happening on December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And you guys are going to be hearing about it really soon. But right now, what we want to do is to invite you for the Courage Over Comfort challenge. It is a 5-day challenge that is happening from November 16th to the 20th. In this challenge, I'm teaching you how to take the road less traveled. Can you please put on Facebook and Instagram the link to the challenge, because I'm telling you, this challenge will be the best thing you can invest in. It's a free one. When I say invest, I mean invest of your time, invest of your energy, invest to participate, not just to come there and just watch me. Come and make new friends. Every time I've done this challenge, people's lives change, and not because of me, but because of the things um, that I teach. Oh, thank you. You've put it there. I was typing it. Thank you. Put it on Facebook as well. So it's bit.ly Courage Over Comfort Challenge. I'm inviting you for those 5 days with me. When I say 5 days, it's not like you're not going to work for 5 days. It's 1 hour a day. 1 day. 1 hour a day. One. You will be with me on the Wednesday 16th, Thursday 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, whatever those days are. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days, 1 hour a day. Can you promise me you're going to block that time? As I checked, when I checked earlier, I saw I had 62 registrations, and I want yours to be the 63rd one, the 64th one, and the 65th one. I have I want as many women to come and really get that courage before we move into 2023. We're not leaving 2022 the same. We still have time. So can you register for it? Let me know once you've registered. Put in the chat, signed up. And if you don't want to sign up, your friend may be interested. Please share it with a friend. Do not be selfish. Share this information with somebody else, because you never know what that could be. It may not be for you. You'll be like, oh, I know all these things. I'm okay. It's okay if you're okay, and I respect that. But somebody else may want that information, and somebody else would want to to upgrade themselves. Do not deny them that opportunity because you don't want it. They may want it. Share with them. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do as well. Honestly, it goes such a long way. We are growing slowly but steadily. We are a little turtle. I'm a little turtle on YouTube. Slowly, 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 but we're getting there. There's no rush. I'm not worried, because I know that it's not about numbers. I've never been I don't have that vanity matrix that people have. People get impressed by numbers. I'm not impressed by numbers, because for me it's about the impact and the influence. That just one person will hear something that lands with them. my favorite word, other favorite word, that lands with them, and that's it. That's just the one person, because Jesus left the 99 for the one. And for me, if just the one gets the message, that's all that counts for me. Anyway, let's continue. The third thing is, so we said be true to yourself. We talked about not resisting change. It's also knowing that it is never wrong to make a U-turn in life. Thank you, Esther. Esther has signed up. Betty says, I will approach you about your self-care. It is so impressive and unique. Yes, and I gave you the tools. Go and print that booklet. I give you a 35-page booklet. That was for my challenge ladies, my paid clients. They got the best gift from me. We created a whole self-care plan for them. Betty, start with that, because what I gave you in there was golden. Look at it, study it, then ask me the questions, right? So I want to say why you can make a U-turn is because nothing here is a tattoo on you. Here, doctor is not a tattoo. If tomorrow doctor wants to become a real estate agent, you can change. No one has stopped you. I stopped being a banker, and now I'm a what? You signed up. Thank you. I changed from banking and finance into coaching. Is it a total U-turn? Almost. But I still use a lot of the principles, the transferable skills that I took from my corporate job and brought them here from the UN into the business that I'm running now. And as you heard Rishi said, that, there's such power in small businesses, because it is the small businesses that really fuel the economy, really, because we work on those tenets that I shared. The tenets that I shared for me personally, I told you mine are around faith. Mine are around abundance. Mine are around excellence. Mine are around purpose. It's so important you know what yours are. What are the values that run you on a day-to-day basis, so that when you're changing in line with those values, not against those values. I have accepted. I change and evolve every single day, and that's okay. So why can't our choices and decisions then change? Why don't we allow our choices and decisions to change as well? If you can if you understand that you're a changing and evolving being, then similarly, you should be able to accommodate that space for yourself to be able to change your choices and to change your decisions. And that's why there's a word in every language that says, I have changed my mind. It's in the dictionary. You are allowed to change your mind. Never feel bad about changing your mind. Turn back. Go the other direction if there are opportunities that you want to embark on that other side. Don't feel bad about it. Sometimes someone will come to me and they're like, oh, Joanne, I really wanted to do this course. Oh, I wanted to do this program, but I'm not sure, but I don't want to let you down. I'm like, no, you're not letting me down. You're letting yourself down. If you feel this is not the time for you to do it, don't do it. You are allowed to change your mind, because I would rather you do it when you're fully present with me than doing it because you want to please me. And me, I don't know, you want to please me. And there you are paying me and you're not going to fully participate. I don't want that. I also want you to be fully present for the program you're signing up for. It's not about being selfish in business. You can't. If you really truly care for your people and you're operating from an abundant space, help your clients, help your people to make the best decisions for themselves, not the decisions that suit you. Because that's how you even retain clients. I have clients who have worked with me from the day I launched my business to date. They may go sometimes, and it's okay. There are other coaches, there are other mentors people work with, and that's part of life. But they're still somewhere in my life in the periphery. They'll send me messages. They're like, hi, Joanne, how are you doing? It's been a while. When is the next program? Let me know. And I'm happy because I'm not the only teacher. There are many teachers. So you can have a healing coach there like Betty. You can have a purpose and business coach like Joanne. And then on this other side, you can have somebody else teaching you some other skills that maybe I cannot teach you, and that's perfectly okay. So never feel bad to expand your knowledge. Never feel bad to change your mind, because it's something that is part of the human experience. There's definitely more than one path that you can take to reach your destination. Just take the one that is best for you. Nothing is a tattoo on you. Your book of life will only be exciting when you allow yourself to change your mind as the need arises. So I want to say this as I wind up. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. And that's in Romans 12. And why that is important is because a lot of us conform. Many people are conformists. You just conform. Anything you conform. Everybody is selling guinea pigs. You're selling guinea. I don't know those are rats. Yeah, selling guinea pigs. You suddenly start selling guinea pigs. Others become coaches. You come here, you watch me on YouTube 2 times. They're like, it's easy. You just go and do a YouTube live. If you guys can know what it takes to prepare for these lives, my team can tell you. We have strategy meetings. I have to do my research. I don't just come here, just sitting here, just saying things, just verbalizing anything that comes from my mouth. It is well prepared. So you can't just see somebody coming out of the blue and saying, it's so easy. You just go live, you just talk the way you want. It doesn't work like that. So please don't look at somebody else's journey and say, it looks so simple, I can do it. Do not conform. You choose your own path, and also ask God to show you. Ask him, tell him, I need you to help me. I need you to guide me. I need you to direct me. I need you to give me wisdom. I need you to give me there's a perception and the knowledge that this is the right way for me, that I'm in alignment with my God-given assignment, that everything that I do right now is in full awareness of your presence in me, and that you are setting me apart to do only that which you have set me apart to do. I don't know what I've said. Yeah. That which I have said. And then do it for yourself every single day. I put up something on my stories on WhatsApp this morning. And I want to share it with somebody. It was such a nice one. I said this, and actually it's someone else who said it, but I just picked it up and I loved it. And it said, it's a risk to just walk into the morning you have not spoken to. Has thou commanded your morning this day? Oops, can you see? I get so many messages. It's moving. Anyway, I'll just read it for you again. These messages just keep popping when I'm doing that one. It's a risk to just walk into the morning you have not spoken to. Has thou commanded your morning? Every morning, command your morning. Command it. Speak into your day. Call forth that which you want to see. It's not a joke. People just wake up in the morning in a hurry. You jump out of bed, jump into the shower, run downstairs, pick your handbag, go. You've not even spoken into your day. That is so scary. You don't even know. You open that door, it will fall on you because you've not even called anything. I don't know how people do that. When I wake up in the morning, I need to get into myself for a very good 15 minutes. Don't talk to me. I don't want anything other than to just focus on, like, what was in my dreams, or some of the things in my subconscious pop out. Like today, one of the things that I got was a reminder to remove an ad, to unsubscribe for something. But how that unsubscription came to my head was because I was silent. Remember to unsubscribe this thing before the 31st of October. Otherwise, you're going to be charged a big amount of money. And I'm like, oh, good. So I use that time in the morning. As I speak into my morning, things just come into my remembrance. As Betty says, it's a lot of work to prepare for these lives. People should know it's a lot of work, but it's work that is beautiful because we are pouring from our hearts. We are sharing from our hearts. Everything that I say, I always say the more it comes out of me, the more God infills in me so that I can share, because I don't want a clogged mind. I don't want to keep any information to myself. I want it to come out so that there is room for more to be received. I don't want a clogged mind. It's like a clogged toilet. Can you take that thing to a China gross? It's clogged. Don't clog your heart with the wrong feelings and emotions. Don't clog your head with too much information that you're holding and not disseminating. Don't clog your wallet with unnecessary money that you can give other people. And yes, team, thank you so much for it's time for us to walk the road less traveled, to unclog ourselves so that we can step into the courageous beings that we were put here to be, to dare to be different. That is what is happening on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th of November. 1 hour a day is all you need to do. Lock it in. If I were you, lock it in. Invite your friends, not one or two. Yesterday, my friend invited 32 people. Whether they signed up, I told her, she's like, oh, I hope they sign up. I'm like, don't worry. You sent 32. Even if 2 out of 32 sign up, your heart, you did it with a clean heart. The ones who are meant to be there will be there. So I hope to see many of you there. And as I went up, I want to say this. Many of us are stuck in patterns, and go back. I've done a whole video series on holding patterns, things that hold us back, strongholds. And those come from us just doing the same thing over and over and over again, because we are scared of taking the more unconventional route. You're scared that you will be judged. You're scared that you will be shamed. You're scared that it will not work. But I want to tell you today, anyone under the sound of my voice that wants to do things differently, I want to tell you that there's a blessing in you doing you. There's a blessing in you saying that, you know what, I can do this thing. I don't need, I always say this, God and me, we are a majority. I don't need a million people. Because even those million people, 99999 of them will not even be on your side. But you and God are a majority. And that's what matters. So I want to see that as we wind up, God and I are a majority. So that as you take that road less traveled and you're like, I'm walking with God, God and I, we're the majority, you will overcome any adversity that comes your way. You will overcome any obstacles that come your way. You will get a better awareness and understanding of the world. Guess what? Because you are walking in your element. You are pursuing your life mission. You are pursuing your life vision. You are working within your values. You know what it is that you're doing, and you are following that path. The mindset of an explorer, an adventurer, the one of taking the road less traveled, right, is to embrace the unknown. Yes, Joyce, you embrace the unknown. I do not know what comes in the future. Even when I tell you guys join courage over comfort, I don't even know how that challenge is going to go. All I know is that it will be successful, because everything I put my hand to, I have the Midas touch. Everything I touch turns to gold. I speak those words over my life. Speak the same. I know I have the Midas touch, that God and I being the majority, when I show up for the people who will be there in that challenge, their lives will never be the same. You walk with that belief, you walk with that conviction, because you know that, yes, challenges will come, right? And there'll be a lot of unforeseen things in this journey, many unforeseen things. But the more the unforeseen things that come, and the more I embrace the unknown, on the other side of that has been new knowledge for me, has been maturity for me, and has been wisdom that I cannot even put into words. And above all, the thing I've been praying for in this season for me, the capacity. I see that, Fred. Thank you very much. Do what is good and walk humbly with the Lord your God. That's from Micah. Thank you, Fred. That's the Mr. And on that note, I didn't even know you're watching. Yeah, so be confident, everybody. And let me say this, as I said, it's not easy, but it can be done. There's a book that I'm reading. Okay, I don't notice. Oh, you are watching, I think. Hello, Miss Felicia. We're just winding up, but it's so glad that you're here. You can watch from the beginning. It's been great. And there's a book that I'm reading. You're perusing. All right. So this is a book that I'm reading, and I'm just going to read the quote as I wind this up. And it's about it's a guy who is called Foster McKellan, and he says perusing. No, you're listening. Anyway, let me finish this. It says that he says that trust yourself, create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. Isn't that so powerful? Trust yourself before anybody else. Trust yourself. Create the kind of self that you'll be happy to live with all your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning the tiny inner sparks of possibility into flames of achievement. And that's what happens when you take the road less traveled. I'll read it again. Trust yourself, insert name. So trust yourself, Joanne Noturi Kuria. Create the kind of self that you'll be happy to live with all your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning the tiny inner sparks of possibility into flames of achievement. That's by Foster McKillen. So, very quickly, as I wind this up, I want you to give me your biggest takeaway. Put it in the chat. I want to be out of here in the next couple of minutes because dinner is about to be served, and the person perusing definitely will be waiting for their dinner. So tell me what your biggest takeaway is. I'll start with mine as I wait for you guys to put yours. I think for me, mine is about not conforming and being able to tap into what God has put me here to do. I think that's such an important element, and being courageous in the process, right? So let me just see your takeaways real quick as we wind this up. We wind this up pretty down. And if you've not subscribed, please do so. I'm just giving it a couple of minutes so that I can see what your takeaways are. And thank you everybody for joining me. As I always say, this is our weekly show. Next week, as you guys put your takeaways, the clocks will be changing a bit. So it's an hour. So I'll be coming at the same time, my time. So that means that it will be 3 hours for East Africa and for the US as well. I will now have to tell you guys what the time is. So I think Ghana will be the same time zone. I'm not sure, but we need to, I will let you guys know. So for me, it will be 5 p.m. But for East Africa, I know from next week, it will be 8 p.m. and not 7 p.m. Let me just mention that. Right. Ida's was not, oh, Ida, you're here. Nice. To always command your morning, always speak into your day. Take those few minutes. Don't let chatter, too much noise will distract you, because God speaks to us in that I call it that, Hal Elrod calls it the miracle morning. For me, I see that there's a magic hour that God whispers to us, and we have to be so perceptive to that. So, you guys are typing these things real quick. So, Jen, hello, lovely. Nice to have you. Jen says, do not resist change. Joyce, I love this. Be adaptable to change. For Team Joanne, do not resist change. Thank you, Team. Ida says, always command your morning. Betty says, what is the starting point? I have to start pondering this over my life. Nina says, see you soon. Esther says, being bold and not being conforming. She's not conforming, right? Not having a spirit of conforming, embracing the unknown as she and God are a majority. Excellent talk. It's not a talk, it's well, it's a talk. Thank you very much. You might even prescribe it. This is not medicine, sir. I might even prescribe like it's medicine. Subscribe is the word, Fred. I hope you subscribe to my channel. You're welcome to subscribe. Edith is prescribing medicine here. Yes, you can subscribe. It will be nice to have you as a subscriber, Dr. Kuria. Edith creates the best. Oh, Edith, you're here. Hello, sweetheart. Create the best self that you'd want to spend time with. I love it. And then Faith says, enjoying your powerful lifting energy, Joanne. Thank you so much. And just truly thank God for it, because every time I do these talks, as Dr. Kuria is saying, and he's prescribing to my channel, which is to subscribe. We're not prescribing medicine here, but every time I do these this YouTube and Facebook lives, I take time to really think, what is the message that I'm going to pass on today? Because a lot of the messages that I'm talking to you guys about, I'm also talking to me, to myself. And Dr. Courier says, I never listen, but today I have. All right, Doc, thank you so much. Felicia says, looking forward to listening to the rest. Felicia, it's a good one. Sit down, listen to it, and then tell me what your takeaway is. Even with the kids, they will really gain a lot from it. Edith, thank you, Joanne. Always happy to tap into your energy, and it is always to have you in my energy, because I could be here talking to myself. I could be here saying things to myself, but you guys warm me up. You warm the atmosphere, you warm up the room, you give me a good vibe, you make me feel good when I come and share this stuff with you. So let's call it a night. It's been so lovely, and until next time, next Thursday, I'll see you guys. And obviously, for those who have signed up for the challenge, those who are inviting their friends, let's put the link one more time. And if you want to quickly type in your last takeaway, if you want to, please do. Let's put the link one more time, team, so that people can have it. We want as many women to experience the Courage Over Comfort challenge. Let me tell you, when I think about what courage has done to me and for me and through me, I wish that for everybody. There are areas where I'm still not there. There are areas I'm a bit timid about, like we all are. But I speak into them every single day. That God give me the strategies. Right? Some of you know about this new passion that I have in real estate. It's a new area for me. It's not something that I really understand, especially in this country. In Kenya much more for me, and probably understood it then much more, like much more. But now being able to understand what England is like, especially in this current state where quote unquote recessions are happening. What does that look like? Our interests have shot up greatly. There's a lot of stuff happening in this economy. What is that going to do, even as I step into that different area? This is my call, but that's something else that I'm keen to do. I'm scared, I won't lie. But one thing that I stand with myself is that it is the road less traveled. And once I start something, I'm going to finish it. I am a starter and I am a finisher. I'm going to research. I have bought the books. I've invested in the courses. So what I need to do, I've joined a property mastermind. I need to really get into it. And that is where I'm like, you know what, God, you and I are a majority. I don't understand half the terminologies, but you will help me. Why? Because this is the direction that you're showing me. I need to also develop. I need to, to sharpen that part of my life. And I'm ready to do it. You lead and I follow. And for Joyce, her takeaway, thank you, Joyce, for I always know there's always that one takeaway. Be authentic, be yourself. When I started this online stuff, there were so many unauthentic voices, but there were also very many authentic voices. And I used to ponder to myself, I used to ask myself, okay, here I am. I was very different at that time from most of the people. Many of them were blonde haired, blue eyed, very different way of speaking, very different way of presenting themselves. But I said, the way I am, me and my Kenyan accent, the way I am, the way God has made me, is the way I'm going to show up. I'm not going to be timid. I'm not going to cower. I'm going to come and just use my voice, use my experiences, use that which is in my hand. And I can tell you, the moment I made that decision, I have never looked back. And that's the same mantle that I want to pray for you, that you're going to take that mantle that you've been given, that you're going to take that authority that you've been given, and that you're going to take that position that you've been given and use it wisely. That's it. If you're not honoring your purpose, you are suffocating your soul. Let's leave it at that. Next week, I'm going to give you some steps. Some steps, tell me by as we go. I'm going to give you some really critical steps that are going to help you to really wind up this year as we prepare for the Courage Over Comfort challenge. All right. See you. Everybody, tell me bye in the chat. Bye, everybody. It has been awesome having you. By Joyce, by Edith, Felicia, by Dr. Kuria. By Esther, by Nina, by Betty, Ida, by Jennifer, by Jen. There's so many. Who else have I made? By Esther. Esther, I think I've said like 5 times. By Betty. And everybody else. I may not see your name. Some of you have not said hi to me, but everybody who has been here, bye everybody. Take care of yourselves. And again, next week, remember the clocks will have changed. We will change that in the calendar. We will change. By Jael, of course. Mwah! Ciao, Fred. Yeah, that's it. We are going to, so it will be 1 hour. So what was 5 p.m. UK in Kenya will be 8 p.m. And for Felicia in the US, it's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific. Those of you in Eastern time zone, it's going to be 1300 hours Eastern. Ghana will be told by Jennifer. So, and of course, Nigeria and all that, those other places. So, see you, everybody. Take care and have a wonderful one. It's been such a great pleasure serving you all. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye.